Why is nobody talking about how Ojukwu became the first university graduate to be enlisted in the Nigerian military?
Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader.
In 1955, a young Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu returned home to Nigeria, fresh from Oxford University, where he had earned a degree in history. He was just 22 years old, brilliant, ambitious, and full of dreams. Coming from one of Nigeria's wealthiest families, Ojukwu had every reason to settle into a life of comfort. His father, Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu, was a business mogul whose empire stretched across transportation, banking, retail, construction, and manufacturing. Like any proud father, Sir Louis had big plans for his son. He welcomed him back with open arms, showing him a beautifully furnished, air-conditioned office at the family's corporate headquarters. The job was his for the taking, a top position in the family business. But young Ojukwu had a different idea. He looked at the office, looked at his father, and politely turned down the offer. He didn't want an easy path paved for him. He wanted to carve his own destiny. The unlikely civil servant turned soldier. Determined to be independent, Ojukwu joined the civil service and became an assistant district officer in Udi, near Enugu. A year later, in 1956, he was transferred to Aba. It was in Aba that fate took a hand. In a gathering, he met Adeyinka Adebayo, a young Yoruba officer in the Nigerian army. Adebayo casually mentions that the army was being indigenized and that educated officers were desperately needed. This idea struck a chord with Ojukwu. Soon after, Ojukwu was promoted to district officer and posted to Calabar. But his father, ever protective, pulled some strings and had the posting cancelled. He didn't want his son sent to a remote location. For Ojukwu, this was the last straw. Furious that his father had interfered in his life, he resigned from the civil service, drove straight to Kaduna, and enlisted in the Nigerian army, not as an officer, but as a lowly recruit. The British officer in Kaduna was very shocked. An Oxford graduate chosen to be a low-life soldier. They quickly recognized his potential and sent him to England for officer training. By 1957, he returned and was commissioned as second lieutenant, making him the first university graduate in the Nigerian army, a meteoric rise in the military. Ojukwu's sharp mind and leadership qualities made him stand out. He rose quickly through the ranks. 1958, he was promoted to lieutenant. 1960, promoted to captain. 1962, promoted to major. 1964, promoted to lieutenant colonel. In 1966, he was commanding the 4th Battalion in Kano when Nigeria's first coup, led by Major Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, took place. Ojukwu called on Ojukwu to